sound of E, ecstasy. Okay, so the store is about to open, but I already been there. Been to the store. It's about to open on Wednesday, but I've been there under OBE Vr-lucid Dream this morning. And it's like whenever there's anything new, like 99% of the time, I'll get a dream about it. I mean, boom, the next day or whatever. Well, it doesn't have to necessarily be something like new, but just it's like something like somehow your brain knows if you like I don't know how to explain it, like if you're really like concentrating on something or whatever, and then boom, like 90% of the time I'll dream about it like the next morning or whatever. But it's kind of got to be like a deep thought. Like I was going past Golden Corral and I knew it had been renovated, and so I was you know having deep thoughts about it, and then boom, I get this long drawn out scenario. Like I don't know how to explain it, but 99% of the time, yeah, it's like that, and then boom, I'll dream about it. I mean, within 24 hours. And so this Natural Grocery Store, I drove by it a week ago, and then drove by it the second time, like yesterday, and then boom, I had a long drawn out OBE Vr-lucid Dream that I was shopping around the store this morning. But yeah, it's really cool. So and what's really weird too is that I woke up this morning and I couldn't remember if I dreamed about my dad mowed my yard or if he really did mow the yard. And so then I went out the front door and he did mow it. I mean, because I remember last night, he mowed it, when I got, or before I got, it had already been mowed by the time I got home at 7:30 or whatever. But for some reason this morning I was tripping about it, and I didn't know if I dreamed it or if he really did mow. And then I went out the front door and then I noticed he mowed or whatever. But yeah, so this Natural Grocers, it's gonna open like on Wednesday, but and two, so when I drove past the window of the stores or whatever, like last night or whatever, now I don't know if that was just part of the scenario or both, because over on the right side, I noticed it looked like that was going to be the meat, but I don't know if that was just part of the scenario, if it was also, I could see that through the store. It seemed like I could see that through the store, but I can't remember. I'll know when I go in there eventually. Yeah, so in the scenario, it started out, me and my stepdad were walking around the store, in the middle of the store, and then we started walking around the whole store and everything. And I walked way over to the right side of the store, like I told you that I just passed the store last night, and over I cocked my head to the right, and then to the right, boom, that's where the beef and meat section was in the scenario. And so I looked up and I noticed that's where all the beef was going to be, but there was no beef, because in the scenario they decided to go ahead and open the store even though it was only 30% stock. Like the aliens, they just kind of go off your thoughts and stuff, because as I went past the store a couple times, a week ago, and then last night, I just had thoughts of like, it looks like it's about, 30% stocked or 50% stocked or whatever. And so the aliens, they just kind of go off of that. So in the scenario, it was basically 30% stocked, and they were just waiting on all the other stuff, but they still allowed the store to open. So we were walking around in just a 30%, stocked store. And so that's where the beef was, as I looked up and I noticed that was the beef section, because I saw the heading, like a beef at the top of the wall or whatever, and there was no beef or whatever. Okay, so then to the left, I walked over to the left of me, and that was still the right part of the store. That was where they were gonna have all the fresh fish and stuff. And there were these two big old pools, and they were white. Like they were like, oh my god, they were probably, let's see, my pond is 250 gallons. These were both of these pools, these round vats or pools, whatever you call them, they were probably like 1,000 gallons, 1,000 or maybe a little bigger, and they were about about 4 feet, 3.5 feet deep, about 4 feet deep. There was 2 of them, and that's where all the fresh fish. That's where they were getting ready to put all the fresh fish and crabs or whatever in the water, and those 2 big pools, round, circular pools. And I thought that was kind of funny and everything, but I was interested, in buying fish. So then I started walking around the store, and then I go back to the middle of the store. My stepdad's walking around, and I remember my stepdad saying some things to me, and then I started looking for like the nuts, and so I asked this guy that was in the store. He wasn't a worker, but he was just a normal shopper, and I asked him. I was like, well, where's the nut section? Where's the almonds? And because I went over to the other part of the wall, the other side of the store, and I didn't see any nut section or almonds section or anything. And he said, oh, I don't think there's any right now, but they'll get those in eventually, because like I say, the whole store was just 30% stock. And I didn't buy anything. I was just looking around, but I was thinking about, buying beef or almonds, but those 2 things weren't stocked yet. And, okay, so after I walked around the store, and like I said, me and my stepdad, we did talk too in the scenario. And, after we walked around the store for a long time, me and my stepdad, for whatever reason, I start snooping around. I go out, like, all the way in the back of the store, there was like a door, and, I go out that door, and it was like all of these really long, narrow hallways, almost like freaking a maze or something. Yeah, I looked down and looked at both sides, and I was like, wow, you could probably get lost in here. And I did start to get lost. So I went out the door, the back of the store, and I went walking around like these maze kind of small hallways, and the floors were white. And so I just kind of start walking around, and I do get lost. And so I had to ask somebody how I get back to the store. And also I noticed that those halls, they led to the mall as well. But I didn't go inside the mall section, but I knew it led into the mall. And then I noticed that, and then I proceeded to go back in the halls, and I was like, wow, there's just a lot of halls, like skinny, narrow halls, like a freaking maze or something. And like I say, I did get lost, and I asked this woman walking by, and I was like, how do I get back to the store? To go back in the back of the store, to get back in the store. And she showed me, she told me how I do that. And okay, so I'm getting to the funny part. Okay, so here's the funny part. Okay, so as I was getting kind of lost, and through the hallways and everything, the skinny, then this was all very, very, very vivid. After I got lost and everything, like through the hallways and stuff, I went, okay, so as I go out the back door, to the right, as I started walking that way down the hallway, skinny ass, long ass, freaking, these hallways were really, really, really long too. And as I walked down to the right, over to the right was an elevator. And for whatever reason, I had to get into the elevator. So I got into the elevator, and there was this female, what do you call them? Like munchkin. I call them munchkin. There was this female munchkin, like 2.5 feet tall, like what you see in Wizard of Oz. I did see some of those little people, about 3 or 4 of them, a few years ago at Walmart. And but I haven't seen them since. And I mean, except for about 2 or 3 weeks ago, at the bookstore there was a little person, and she was a female. But I just, because my mom was like, oh, there's a little person, so I looked over there, and it was a female, and I just saw the back of their head, and and I saw how they were only like 2.5 feet tall, and or maybe I don't know, I don't even think they're 3 feet tall. Okay, so anyway, yeah, and I'm pretty sure she was female because she looked female. So that's where the aliens got that, to put in the scenario. So that little munchkin was in the elevator, and okay, this was hilarious. She had like 5 syringes. Like, she had all the packs of the little packs of vaccines and needles and stuff. She had them all in little piles on the floor, like about 5 of them, 5 little piles. Like, each pile had like the needle and the vaccine, and the wipes or whatever. That was all in little piles on the floor. And but it was funny. These needles, they were like those really wide, huge ones. Like let's see. Is syringe, is that the same thing? Let's see. It was like those real big ones. Like let me see. Let me see if that's what I'm thinking of. These were like the real fat ones. Like this, except yeah, like this, except they were even fatter than that. Like this. Like, except they were longer and they were fatter. And so and basically that, she wasn't a nurse or anything, but that was her job, to like whoever came into the elevator, for them to go ahead and give you like a vaccine, the COVID vaccine. It was like that, not like that, one of those big fat ass ones like that, except it was even a little longer and fatter in the scenario. Like that one. And I was just like, oh my God. And then, because I was getting like all scared and shit. And so, when I realized what she was gonna do or whatever, so I like, and she had her back turned, so I like turned around, and I like stepped on one of them. I just like stomped on one of the big fat syringes, that one. And then I hurried up and got out of there, and then I found my way back, to the store, and the Natural Grocers store. And then that was the end of the scenario. But the scenario, it was really long. I was in it for quite a while, good 2 or 3 hours or whatever. But yeah, it was really fun. But yeah, I knew eventually I'd probably have some freaking COVID dream, you know what I mean? I knew the aliens were going to give me that soon. But yeah, it was fun. Okay, thanks for listening. Anybody who tries to jab me, I'll jab that thing straight through their freaking heart. Well, won't I, Hannah? You say, yes, I will. I'll jab that thing up their ass, through their heart, and through their brain. So just to let you know. Thanks for listening.